Welcome to part 8 of our series on the parts of speech. In this session today, we're going to be examining the role of the conjunction in American English. In today's session, we'll be looking at the definitions and examples of conjunctions and also at the three most common types: the coordinating conjunction, subordinating conjunction, and correlative conjunctions. The three most often used conjunctions in American English are and, but, and or. And these words are the words that we use to join. You can even see that idea of a junction as a place where something meets or comes together. They're used to join up words, to join up phrases, or to join up clauses. Think of prepositions as kind of the glue of the language that helps to hold the other parts of speech together. Now, conjunctions can also be broken down into different categories. One category of conjunctions are known as the coordinating conjunctions, and one easy way to remember the coordinating conjunction is to use the acronym FANBOYS: for, yet, nor, but, or, yet, so. These words are the ones that form the coordinating conjunctions, and the job of a coordinating conjunction is to connect sentence elements that are the same, connect together two different words, two phrases, two independent clauses. And this includes examples like macaroni and cheese. You have food on your face and stuck in your teeth. You must clean your face or you won't be allowed any dessert. These coordinating conjunctions are connecting these things that are similar to help hook them together. Remember, conjunctions in general have to join or glue together different elements of the sentence. A second type of conjunction is known as the subordinating conjunction, and these are examples like unless, whenever, since, and what they do is to glue a dependent adverb clause to an independent clause, and we'll talk a little bit about the difference between those on the next slide. So the velociraptor will eat you unless you give him a cupcake. Whenever I see a velociraptor, I offer him pastries, and I like to share a chocolate donut with my velociraptor since he is always so hungry. So what do we mean by all this phrases and clauses, dependent, independent bit? Well, it's actually pretty simple. A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb in it. An independent clause can stand on its own as a sentence. So if you took off everything else in the sentence, it would still be a complete thought with that subject and verb. A dependent clause, though, just like the word to be dependent on someone, needs to be tied to a sentence in order to make sense. So for example, an independent clause is, I will bring my kazoo. You have a subject, I, and what you're going to do will bring, and then you even have an object, my kazoo, explaining what you will bring. You could put a period at the end of that, and you have a complete thought, I will bring my kazoo. But the dependent part of the clause comes when you add in one of these conjunctions, words like unless, whenever, or since. And these are dependent clauses because they can't stand on their own. You can't go up to someone and just say, unless you're allergic to kazoos. They're going to want to know unless what? I don't understand. Or whenever I come to visit, period, you're still left wanting to know what happens whenever you come to visit. Or since you are my friend, again, it leaves you with an incomplete thought. So a dependent clause needs to be hooked, glued, or joined with a conjunction to an independent clause. Correlative conjunctions are always used in pairs. These are the ones that show relationship, and some of the most common ones include phrases that are the either or phrase, neither nor, both and, not only this, but also that. So both Mr. Drake and Miss Brown were named and North Carolina teacher scholars. Neither Mr. Grundon nor Miss Blizzard were eaten by velociraptors. So that the correlative conjunction helps to show the relationship between those two different thoughts in that pair of either or, neither nor, both and, not only but also, and those kinds of formations. Now, using conjunctions to hook up different parts of the language can create some interesting grammatical problems. So you want to be careful to avoid some of these usage errors. The first thing that you'll notice is the verb agreement question when you use correlative conjunctions. If you're connecting two subjects with a correlative conjunction, the second subject, the one that's closest to the verb, is the one that's going to agree with the verb. If you have a subject, for example, that one part of it is singular, one part of it is plural. So look at the examples that might help to explain it a little bit better. Either the velociraptor or the mammoths are coming to the party. Now in this case, the velociraptor implies one velociraptor, but mammoths implies a group or a herd of them. But mammoths is plural, and since it's closest to the noun or to the verb here, are coming to the party, you have a plural verb. So you don't say either the velociraptor or the mammoths is coming to the party. Mammoths is closer. It actually rules on the verb there, so mammoths are. But if you reverse that and said either the mammoths or the velociraptor, since velociraptor now is singular and is closest to the verb, it takes the singular verb is. So raptor is singular and needs the singular verb because it's closest in this format. So when you have correlative or coordinating conjunctions, you want to be careful about verb agreement. In that case, your verb is going to match whichever noun is closest to it. Just as with the rule on subject and verbs having to agree with conjunctions, you also want to be careful about pronouns and antecedents. If you're connecting two subjects with a correlative conjunction, the second one has, or coordinating conjunction, the second one has to agree with the pronoun that follows. So either the raptor or my friends, plural, will bring their own noisemakers to the party. Since friends is closer and it's plural, it's going to take the plural pronoun there. But if you reverse that and said either my friends or the raptor, you would say would bring his own noisemakers to the party. Raptor in this case is singular and would take the singular pronoun his. So it's either one of my friends or the raptor will bring his one noisemaker to the party. If you're ready for some review on simple conjunctions, it's time for the most famous of the Grammar Rock videos of all time, and that is Conjunction Junction. Go ahead and click on the link and you can watch it for yourself.